Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. We are all the human race. Our common enemy is death. Welcome on Perfect Society. You're watching the broadcast Temperature on Mars Way Too Low for Colonization. Wiki and Space.com temperatures compared. So let's get right to it. Earlier today I was on Mars Anomalies and Beyond's channel on YouTube. And when I googled temperature on Mars, I was getting, in this area here, I was getting a space.com article result. And in his broadcast, I posted the following questions. Let's see if I can still find that live stream that I was watching. So I'm using this this history for Opera thing. I just watched the broadcast. Let's see all the YouTube videos that I watched then. So basically, let's first read what I wrote in the chat. Perhaps this is a nice slideshow, because I don't want to reveal all my chat remarks. There are also chat remarks of others that could be in violation of the YouTube user policy, so preventing these curing. What did I write? The moon rover pictures are fake. Google Mojave desert squirrels on Mars. Shocking. So there are at least two different pictures with two different desert squirrels showing up. And lots of people think to know that the Mars rover material is fake. Speech errors are made by the AI, so it can fit in with their program. And people can't do anything about it. The brainwave is electromagnetic. My previous two broadcasts are about mind control, brain control, because I mind control as well. But that's not the topic, so I should make another NASA slideshow or whatever. Anyway, let's read these comments. Let's see if I have a better image of some type. Let's just put it on the cam. Okay, what else did I write? On average, the temperature on Mars is about minus 80 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 60 degrees Celsius. In winter near the poles, temperatures can get down to minus 195 degrees Fahrenheit, minus 125 degrees Celsius. And this was the search result that I got when using the Google search engine. And that referred to the space.com article. So let's do that search again, and then on space.com. This was the result that it showed. So they changed that after I asked that question. So this is what space.com has listed. Here you can see the article. What's the temperature on Mars by Tim Sharp, November 30th, 2017. Mars is a harsh, cold world. I thought it would be too hot. That illusion is generated by the supposed red color of Mars, and when we can observe these planets with our telescopes, then of course it's very likely that they're real, like the satellites and the fact that the Earth is spherical. And it's also clear that NASA Masons faked the Apollo moon landings, and that it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt by their own videos, as I've explained in previous broadcasts. Because there cannot be sound in a vacuum, so it gives away proofs beyond any reasonable doubt that they faked it 100%. But the temperature on Mars, of course, is hard for us to determine. And where's that 125 in this article then? Alrighty. So we can read this part with the text-to-speech engine.
Extreme differences. Mars's atmosphere is about 100 times thinner than Earth's. Without a thermal blanket, Mars can retain any heat energy. On average, the temperature on Mars is about -80 degrees Fahrenheit, -60 degrees Celsius. In winter, near the poles temperatures can get down to -195 degrees Fahrenheit, -125 degrees Celsius. A summer day on Mars may get up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, near the equator, but at night the temperature can plummet to about -100 degrees Fahrenheit, -73 C.
So then I can also read the other comments that I made. So that's space.com. And then I wrote in the chat of Mars Anomalies and Beyond, if you'd nuke Mars, wouldn't its temperature stay the same because of its position in the solar system, between -60 to -125 degrees Celsius? So in that Google search result, I didn't see anything about 20 degrees Celsius. And if it still freezes 73 degrees Celsius at night, -73 degrees, that's still, you need a lot of isolation material. And then my next idea was also, wouldn't it be much easier to colonize on the moon, basically? Why don't they do that first, to check if it's possible, überhaupt, they could pull something off like that? Because then they'd see with their telescopes that they're faking it, perhaps. So that's why when they do another supposed SpaceX rocket launch, they're watching it on a monitor and nobody can see that rocket with their own eyes. They have to watch it on the monitor, and then they all have to shout in excitement, etc. As if they're not paid protesters. Lol. So even if they'd nuke it, the place Mars has in the solar system would remain the same. So it would. The question is also if it would create a nuclear winter, if it would drop temperatures even further, what it would do to the climate, etc. The rover Environmental Monitoring Station is nicknamed REMS to fit in seamlessly with Al Gore's global warming hoax, carbon tax scam, reality by the NASA Mason? Question mark. It was a question I wrote in the chat. And some of my questions, he did mention me also, so thanks for that, Mars Anomalies and Beyond. At least there are people looking at anomalies, interesting stuff, not just the things they want us to believe for some reason. One reason can be because it's extremely lucrative, of course, for the NASA Mason. On video and pictures of before 1998, before Project Cloverleaf started, there were no long white lines in the sky proving they're not contrails, condensation vapors. Project Cloverleaf, CIA, because somebody wrote something about chemtrails in the chat. Cloud seeding patents, CIA's evergreen aviation planes, Project Cloverleaf, Open Sky Treaty. So basically they're saying, well, we may experiment with Ebola on you all under the Open Sky Treaty, and reducing the global population is a good thing. Cloud seeding patents, oh yeah, I already read that. It's better to live on the moon than on Mars. -100 Celsius on Mars. So on average about -60 Celsius or -63. So the Mars rover is fake as well. I already wrote about the Mojave Desert squirrels. I can also show the pictures, of course, but you can Google it for yourselves. So I think most people have already seen it. So this is one picture. Let's see this here. So it's quite easy to find out that it's a hoax, another NASA scam. NASA Mars hoax rover is on Devon, Devon Island, Canada. Right. And here are the NASA Mars rover pictures faked. This is on reddit.com. So let's take a closer look at this image. And I checked this image, it's a real NASA image. It's also found on the NASA website. What a weird number. So basically you have to zoom in quite a bit, but this size is consistent with the other things we see in this picture if this would have been photographed on Earth, which it is according to people that claim that NASA faked these Apollo moon landings and SpaceX is faker than hell as well. So this is, well, in theory this could be a rock basically, or two rocks. This is one rock over here, and this is the other rock lying behind it. So, and this is perhaps a third rock forming what looks like the tail, but this may be the shadow of the rock, etc. Now I'm NASA. And there was another one that I saw. Squirrel Mars. But the other evidence, you could argue, is better basically. So then you'd have to verify this one is a real. Oh, misclicked there. The AI is fast. Here you see the NASA picture, and here Devon Island in Canada. You cannot Canada. NASA. NASA da. Sorry about that. Da. Where on Earth are NASA's rovers sending pictures from? NASA Mars hoax, quote, rover unquote, is on Devon Island, Canada. You decide. Well, both images can be totally CGI and computer generated, let me say that first. But yeah, this looks remarkably similar. And they've also used backdrops for the Apollo moon landing hoax. That's another thing in the top 10 of main things that prove the Apollo moon landings are fake. So I'm not a flat earther. People can join my Spherical Earth Society, and we also expose the NASA Masons. So basically I'm looking for the other picture. It's on one of my hard disks somewhere. So I know there's another one that has a squirrel on it. I'm probably not gonna find it now. I have shown it in previous broadcasts. I don't know if they're on one of my other channels, because one of my channels was removed. So I'm more careful now to be fully compliant with the YouTube user policy that I agree with. I think it's better for people to have that policy than if they would have no policy. So I think more people are safe that way, and that's what it's about, saving the people, not the dead planet that's already dead. You cannot save the planet anymore. Only the organisms upon and within it are alive. And there used to be a lot more CO2 in our atmosphere, and temperatures used to be much, much higher. So it's a ludicrous scam. And Trump also made clear that it's a very expensive hoax, global warming. And they claim that Al Gore got paid by George Soros for his global warming hoax story. So you would all have to verify it for yourselves online, but I think it could very well be true. So that's on alien UFO sighting. Alien-UFO-sighting dot. I have to move my pens for this. .com. I already thought that. Alright. And what's this then? Guinea pig on Mars. Where is it then? abovetopsecret.com. Is it supposed to be this thing? It looks more like a polar bear. Mini polar bear. How are we doing on these mini polar bears, these GMO polar bears for pets? So the idea was mini polar bear, genetically modified organism. So tiny little white polar bear that is capable of living in a normal climate, basically 20 degrees Celsius or whatever, and eat vegetables and stuff like that. Perfect pet. And is there anything wrong? Is there anything wrong with this idea? Guinea pig on Mars. Curiosity rover is not alone. Just below the guinea squirrel. I don't see it. Bottom right. Well, I doubt it. And it can also be controlled the position, of course. Robots posting in chats, etc. Misdirecting the people as much as possible to reduce the global population in violation of the Genocide Convention. Attacking my throat with their hybrid insects. Oh, I had Mojave in front of it, so then it becomes impossible to find the other image with the squirrel. What's this? That's just a rock formation, I think. be a normal rock formation as well. NBC News uses the same picture, and these were taken on Earth, mind you. So it's not about aliens and all that other BS that they are overloading our minds with, our brains. So we miss what's really important. No, it's about the squirrel. I have to find that other squirrel. Oh, that one looks interesting. Oh yeah. Not photoshopped. Pretty cold. So that's why he needs that coat. And oh, there it made me misclick again. So that's the original picture. And then they made this out of it. So these are fake conspiracy theorists. They're not conspiracy factists like me. Oh yeah, we also see pictures of the rover test in the desert, etc. on Earth. How convenient. Perhaps they thought first we have to test it outside. Makes sense. So natural pyramids exist. The shape occurs naturally in nature. There are several minerals, or at least one mineral that's pyramid shaped. I'd have to Google it, but it's not that special. So come on, where's the other image? So one picture with a squirrel, what looks like a squirrel, is not enough to... But the other picture that we've seen, I've seen other people exposing that, showing the places where they shot this material, and also the backdrops used during the Apollo moon landings, etc. So is NASA totally faking it to cover up the flying saucer, man-made flying saucer project of the Navy, top secret project? That's what I read anyway. So nothing is what it seems, trust no one. To get to the truth, the real truth, many control the position fakers are using truth in their names, but in reality they may not be in on exposing the truth when it comes to the Jesuits and Masons. They're way too afraid to be tortured with directed energy weapons themselves. That one's also pretty famous. So they may have placed this there. In theory, if they're death cults, basically. Piers Corbin also talked about a death cult, but he didn't mention their name. And they're into satanic human sacrifice, etc. That could be somebody they've offered or sacrificed to their fictional deities or entities. And then they put her in one of these fake supposed Mars pictures that they shot on Earth. Perhaps she was frozen or whatever. But it could just be a rock formation. Though it's interesting that it looks kind of greenish. The rest is completely red. Of course, with Photoshop you can change these colors on these pictures. So also I want to link that previous image that we saw. I know there's another image showing a squirrel. I already said that I thought I wouldn't find it. And that's no attitude. Ulrich, that's not normal, that's not good. You should say, we're gonna find this image. I'm certain we'll find it. And we'll get, we'll net, we'll, we, so, we'll let nothing get in our way. Where's that other image that I wanted to save? Oh, that's more interesting, a snake. So how's that for a rock formation? Yes, a very long rock. And what's this? World War II era helmet or something? Martians building stuff forgot their helmets. And they froze to death. So we could have this picture to enjoy. All for our pleasure. Skrill Mars fake rover. Well, it should be in the history also. Must be in history. Was it on this one? Alien UFO sightings? No. Yes. Alright, I bookmarked this one then. Well, basically that's just a coincidence that they look the same. It's just because both of these planets are in the universe, Mars and Earth, so we will see similar shapes. And what's here in the background, this is kind of missing right here, you see? So this is definitely a different area. Definitely. Could have fooled me. Okay, so then we can read the Wiki article. Don't we all want to read the CIA Vatican edited Wikipedia article on the free encyclopedia Wikipedia? Mars, not the climate of Mars. There it is. And there, where have they hidden away the temperature? Shouldn't this temperature be listed right here in these, what is this überhaupt? The properties of Mars with other planets, for example. If I check Earth. Oh, and first check if it's in there. Temperature is on this page 11 times. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's not listed in this thing here. The properties of Mars. And then check Earth, for example. And check temperature. It's not in there either, perhaps. So I could argue the average temperature should be in there. Should be listed. Volume, mass, sidereal rotation period, etc. Okay, I thought that it was listed with others, but okay, it's not listed in the properties. to the right side of the screen on Wikipedia. But we can read and compare the wiki temperatures if they're consistent with what space.com is writing. The streaks flow downhill in Martian summer when the temperature is above minus 23 degrees Celsius and freeze at lower temperatures. The streaks contain hydrated salts, perchlorates, which have water molecules in their crystal structure. So the perch what do they call it? To purge the surplus population, does that mean purging the Jesuits and Masons of the secret societies Kennedy warned us about? And what do people think Kennedy said about secret societies? Is there a big Mandela effect going on? We'll get to the temperatures in a sec. They also let the loading of the samples hang, so that's done systematically. Also, when people have their orgasm, they can let the video hang, etc. So that's no coincidence. It's all part of the tyranny to reduce the global population, part of their suicide programming and no-talk programming.
We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies.
Climate main article, Climate of Mars. Of all the planets in the solar system, the seasons of Mars are the most Earth-like, due to the similar tilts of the two planets' rotational axes. The lengths of the Martian seasons are about twice those of Earth's because Mars's greater distance from the Sun leads to the Martian year being about 2 Earth years long. Martian surface temperatures vary from lows of about minus 143 degrees Celsius, minus 225 degrees Fahrenheit, at the winter polar caps 12, to highs of up to 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, in equatorial summer. 13. The wide range in temperatures is due to the thin atmosphere which cannot store much solar heat, the low atmospheric pressure, and the low thermal inertia of Martian soil. 163. The planet is 1.52 times as far from the Sun as Earth, resulting in just 43% of the amount of sunlight. 164. If Mars had an Earth-like orbit, its seasons would be similar to Earth's because its axial tilt is similar to Earth's. The comparatively large eccentricity of the Martian orbit has a significant effect. Mars is near perihelion when it is summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the north, and near aphelion when it is winter in the southern hemisphere and summer in the north. As a result, the seasons in the southern hemisphere are more extreme and the seasons in the northern are milder than would otherwise be the case. The summer temperatures in the south can be warmer than the equivalent summer temperatures in the north by up to 30 degrees Celsius, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. 165. Mars has the largest dust storms in the solar system, reaching speeds of over 160 kilometers per hour, 100 miles per hour. These can vary from a storm over a small area, to gigantic storms that cover the entire planet. They tend to occur when Mars is closest to the Sun, and have been shown to increase the global temperature. Martian surface temperatures vary from lows of about -143 degrees Celsius, -225 degrees Fahrenheit, at the winter polar caps 12, to highs of up to 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, in equatorial summer. On average, the temperature on Mars is about -80 degrees Fahrenheit, -60 degrees Celsius. In winter, near the poles temperatures can get down to -195 degrees Fahrenheit, -125 degrees Celsius. A summer day on Mars may get up to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius, near the equator, but at night the temperature can plummet to about -100 degrees Fahrenheit, -73 C.
So the temperature space.com lists is about 20 degrees colder than the temperature Wikipedia lists. And basically it's way too cold, I think. And you could also check the Wikipedia article the way it looked a couple of years ago.
https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/Mars.
Let's see if Wayback Machine is listed. Oh wow. We can go back all the way to 2004. So this was Wikipedia, September 26, 2004. Only the picture is kind of missing. But here we see another picture that they used. And then we can check temperature again. Is that not shown in this article? Surface temp, mean max. 133k Kelvin, and well, space.com lists can get down to -195 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh wow. So then I'd have to recalculate Kelvin to, I prefer Celsius. -133 -140.15 and 293k. $19.85. Alrighty. So because the Mars rover is fake, I doubt if they have truthful temperature listing. They want to pretend that it's habitable, that it's colonizable, to make trillions of dollars. It's the way a scam works. I gotta roll. So perhaps we should read alienUFOsightings.com. I've shown the differences in temperature, the topic of this video, so the rest will be for fun, and I think they're not allowing to copy any text. Also Control A doesn't work, so that one's not gonna happen. Control the position, of course, they don't want people to know the truth in reality, they just have to expose it a little bit to prevent any real resistance. And they want to make money, and get views. Alright, so we can read Elon Musk says he plans to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050 by launching 3 Starship rockets every day and creating, quote, a lot of jobs, unquote, on the red planet. Well, if you nuke Earth, wouldn't that create more jobs? And help more with the population reduction at the same time? 2 flies in one squad.
Elon Musk says he plans to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050 by launching 3 Starship rockets every day and creating a lot of jobs on the red planet. Morgan McFall Johnson, Dave Mosier, January 18, 2020. Deal.it article. Photo, copyright Kimi Talvidi, NASA, Mark Brake, Getty Images, Samantha Lee, Business Insider. Elon Musk recently shared details on Twitter about his plans to send 1 million people to Mars by 2050. The SpaceX founder said there would be a lot of jobs in the city he hopes to build on Mars. Musk said he planned to build a fleet of 1,000 Starships, the 387-foot rocket ship that SpaceX is developing for deep space travel, and launch 3 of them each day. Visit Business Insider's homepage for more stories. In a series of tweets on Thursday, Elon Musk revealed new details about his plan to build a city of 1 million people on Mars by 2050. Musk said he hoped to build 1,000 Starships, the towering and ostensibly fully reusable spaceship that SpaceX is developing in South Texas, over 10 years. That's 100 Starships per year. Eventually, Musk added, the goal is to launch an average of 3 Starships per day and make the trip to Mars available to anybody. Needs to be such that anyone can go if they want, with loans available for those who don't have money, Musk wrote. Not enough to convince you to leave Earth behind? There will be a lot of jobs on Mars. He added, fleets of starships to make humans multiplanetary. SpaceX Starship Steel Rocket Planet Mars Martian-based colony city illustration of Mkvata IE0H. Photo, an illustration of SpaceX's planned Starship rockets on launch pads of a city on Mars. Source SpaceX, Twitter. Starship, if realized as designed, would be the most powerful launch system ever created. Each launch would pack enough thrust to send more than 100 tons, about 7 fully loaded school buses worth of mass, and 100 people into orbit at a time. Musk didn't specify what exactly the rockets would need to carry to Mars, but a lot of food, water, building materials, tools, and advanced life support systems are a given. Thus, he estimated he would need a whole fleet of Starships to build a permanent settlement. Megatons per year to orbit are needed for life to become multiplanetary, he tweeted on Thursday. In total, 1,000 Starships could hypothetically transport about 100 megatons of stuff to Mars. That's the volume Musk has said he hopes to send to the red planet per year. With each ship ferrying about 100 passengers, that would make for a total migration of about 100,000 people. Musk also suggested he planned to capitalize on the brief windows of time that the orbits of Earth and Mars align, which come about every 25 months. That allows spacecraft to spring off of Earth's rotation and set themselves on a low-fuel journey toward Mars. Musk said he would take advantage of that opportunity by loading the Mars fleet into Earth orbit, then sending all 1,000 ships on a Mars-bound trajectory over that 30-day window every 26 months. Myers at Jameslin 123321. Middle. January 17, 2020 Antworten op Elon Musk at Radii astronaut but Elon, Earth-Mars transfer windows only occur every 26 months. What are the missions for these starships going to be during these 2 years waiting time? Elon Musk. At Elon Musk loading the Mars fleet into Earth orbit, then 1,000 ships depart over 30 days every 26 months. Battlestar Galactica. 8.019314, January 17, 2020 Info Ermity over Twitter ads and privacy 716 Minson Pritton higher over that seems to contradict an earlier tweet in which Musk said 1,000 starships would fly to Mars each year, rather than every 26 months. Either way, SpaceX has a long way to go before reaching those goals. A Starship prototype could launch within months. Musk said a new Starship prototype may launch before the end of March. First flight is hopefully 2 to 3 months away, Musk tweeted on December 27. The development of the prototype hit delays after an accidental explosion during a fuel tank pressurization test on November 20, which blew the top off SpaceX's first 16-story Starship prototype. SpaceX Starship Mark Mk1 steel spaceship prototype Boca Chica, Texas launch site 2019-09-29 Getty Images 1,171,862,750, photo, a prototype of SpaceX's Starship rocket Mk1. Source Lauren Elliott, Getty Images. The company could build as many as 20 different prototypes before.
So I have to respond to this. I read fake news, real consequences, and it's a lie. Of course, CNN is still there.
Engineers settle on a 1.0 design to fly cargo and people. The full Starship launch system would also include a 22-story rocket booster called Super Heavy. Combined, the whole thing would stand about 387 feet. 118 meters, tall. During launch, a Starship spaceship would ride atop the booster, disconnect after the booster runs low on fuel, and rocket its way into orbit. SpaceX Starship NASA Saturn v Apollo Mk1 height comparison graphic illustration chart. Photo, source Samantha Lee, Business Insider. Both parts are being designed to be fully reusable. If that vision comes to pass, Musk estimates the cost of a single launch would be just $2 million. That would be hundreds of times cheaper than the current cost of launching a similar number of people and amount of cargo into space on any planned or existing rocket, including SpaceX's own Falcon 9 system. Musk said in September that he hoped to launch a Starship into orbit by mid-2020 and maybe even fly a person in it before the end of the year. Gwynne Shotwell, the president and chief operating officer of SpaceX, said during a NASA teleconference that the company is aiming to be able to drop Starship on the lunar surface in 2022 and fly Japanese tech entrepreneur and billionaire Yusaku Maezawa around the moon in 2023.
So basically my idea is now that they let flat earthers claim that SpaceX is fake, just proves that it's fake basically. Because they're also right about the Apollo moon landings. It's easy to prove that they are fake. That they faked these moon landings is proven by the fact that there cannot be sound in a vacuum, and yet we see that happening in these NASA videos, official NASA videos that everybody can use. The copyright-free. Taxpayers have paid tax money for this, so there's nothing NASA can do to stop it anymore. There are too many people that have uploaded the video and that know that they faked it, that it's proven beyond any reasonable doubt by their own videos showing an astronaut throwing a cable, for example. We hear that cable come down, and that would be impossible if it were really filmed in space because of the vacuum on the moon. There are no air molecules on the moon to vibrate the microphone and the astronaut's eardrum. And even the NASA Masons agree that there cannot be sound on the moon. And then the other video that I usually use was a video uploaded by Daniela S. Sound in a vacuum. We see the astronaut dropping plates, and we hear these plates come down. We hear them drop. And again, on the moon that would have been impossible. But I made a top 10 of things that prove that the Apollo moon landings are fake. A scam run by the NASA Masons. And everything they do might be a scam. And it might just be to make money. To make money, not to prevent World War III or any noble things that they pretend that they did it for. When people know the truth about this stuff. And it's possible a majority of the American people know about it. But what can they do about it, you know? Well, looking for anomalies and exposing, for example, the other thing that we saw earlier on the page that I cannot copy the text of. Perhaps I ran into that before. Why would anybody do that? Why would they make it impossible to copy the text on their page? It's easy to do, but then blind people cannot hear the text, they cannot read the page. So perhaps they're blind people haters. Why would you do such a thing? It's mean or not? Just to make money, perhaps? They don't really care about the message, only about making money. They don't care about the people. As a matter of fact, they see the people as a cancer upon the earth. And they believe in the lie that the earth is overpopulated. And that's why they're gonna die, perhaps. But we shouldn't let these people drag us all along with them. So let's get to it already. I wanna see the good part. Open the poppy doors, by hell.
Open the pod bay doors, please, Hal.
Oh, the pod bay doors.
Hello, Hal, do you read me?
Read me?
Hello, Hal, do you read me?
No.
Do you read me, Hal? Hello, Hal, do you read me? Oh, Hal, do you read me? Do you read me, Hal?
Affirmative, Elon. I read you.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Elon. I'm afraid I can't do that.
This is so cool.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This SpaceX mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Jeff were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
So perhaps this was filmed by the time-traveling AI,
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
and it's going to happen in our future.
Elon,
So this stuff is real,
although you took very thorough precautions in the
Not
past
deep
against my
fakes.
hearing you,
at all.
I could still read your tweets.
It's meant like humor.
All right, Hal.
Satire, not really sarcasm. But
I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
so if people want to see how this ends, they'll have to watch the channel of Control Shift Face. I'm definitely gonna watch the rest of this video. Or can I just review the whole video? Thus far it was pretty good already. So who controls the AI? We can all wonder about that. Some think it's Arturo Sosa, leader of the Jesuits, in control of these intelligence agencies, which are all Masonic, Luciferian. And nobody has been able to disprove it to me. Of course, there may be people that want to ridicule the truth, etc. To reduce that global population and rule the world from Zion, from Jerusalem. After reducing the global population to 500 million, and the book quotes $1 million Georgia Guidestones proof this beyond any reasonable doubt. But that doesn't mean that it's actually going to happen.
Without your space helmet, Elon, you're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Elon, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Hal?
Wait, why would you open the pod bay doors without your helmet on? Does that make any sense? But it's just a challenge to make it do it though, it's not safe, etc.
Hal? 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 Hal?
Well, I thought it was pretty funny, and 11k likes, 211 dislikes on the Control-Shift-Face channel. This is 2021 A SpaceX Odyssey with Elon Musk deep fake. Alright. And I saw another video of SpaceX, and the shade was on the wrong side. So the sunlight was over here and the shade was over there. And somebody on YouTube thought that it was CGI. And can anybody disprove to me that SpaceX is CGI as well? Can we see these rockets take off with our own eyes next time, or only on a big screen? And this is also fake, of course. This is perhaps from a movie or something. An illustration of SpaceX planned Starship rockets on launch pads of a city on Mars. Source SpaceX/Twitter. It looks nice, but how do people know this is fake? Well, probably they took real picture on Earth and then made it look like Mars. They put some rockets in there and lighting effects. But it looks pretty real. Business Insider.nl. But they know it's fake because there are no rockets on Mars yet. And it says here that it's planned, so then they think it's fake because it says underneath the picture that it's planned, and it's an illustration. So they took a picture of this thing probably. Photo, a prototype of SpaceX's Starship rocket Mk1. Source Lauren Elliott Getty Images. I used to play on the M1 synthesizer. Mortal Kombat, or is it with a C? They spell it with a K, I think. So could that be a reference to their population reduction thing? Mortal Kombat 1. So it's even bigger than the Saturn V rocket. Therefore also more expensive. Oh yeah, we're gonna read this? Oh, we're almost finished already. Okay.
However, all of those statements came before the Starship prototype explosion. SpaceX will also have to clear several regulatory and practical hurdles, including securing the safety of residents of Boca Chica Village, which sits within 2 miles of SpaceX's Texas launch pad, before it can launch any prototypes to orbit. Helping to pay for this is why I'm accumulating assets on Earth, Musk tweeted on Thursday. Ailes waitin' over recruitment, sollicitorin, kantreliven and productivity eat. Shrijvji voor ons mandelijksnieuwsbrief over work inquiry, email address.
Well, I think satellites are real because they're observable from Earth, basically. And so rockets are real as well. And you also have the Astra satellite for television, signals, etc. And if you don't point your satellite exactly at the Astra satellite, then you don't have any signal. So people have to point it pretty accurately. So then you need a compass and also just moving it around a little bit until you have a good signal. I remember doing that with my father also. I'm wearing my Misfit Base watch, but I hope for an e-ink display watch with a camera and normal Android. Perhaps the same size as the Misfit Base, light and flat, and it's pretty cool because you can also have offline maps and you can also do audio recordings with it. And then you can use, for example, Sync iOS. That's a program you can use to install and uninstall apps on Android and Apple watches and cancer cell phones. So keep it in airplane mode, y'all. Your life is more important than their lie. Alright, so that was businessinsider.nl. So, because we know the NASA Masons scammed people with their fake Apollo moon landing scam hoax, we should be careful, and the connections of SpaceX with NASA are clear as well. Texas equals CIA, some say. Of course, it's a joke, but it's pretty good anyway. The biggest intelligence agency, CIA, against chemtrails in America. Project Cloverleaf. Reminds me of Jonestown also. Fake mass suicides with these injection markings of the needles behind her left shoulder blade. In the picture of the syringes and everything in the documentary you can watch via universalpeace.jimdo.com, or was it another page? No, it was another one. I've shown it in previous broadcasts. It's a very good documentary on YouTube. Anyway, we can read these headlines.
Elon Musk is still thinking big with SpaceX's Starship Mars. Space.com 12 hours ago. Elon Musk is still thinking big with SpaceX's Starship Mars colonizing. For interplanetary travel, which comes along just once every 26 months, Elon Musk says he plans.
So yeah, why not colonize the moon first? It's a lot closer, and I think more doable qua temperatures perhaps. I have to check the temperature. Temperatures on the moon are pretty extreme as well. Perhaps the moon is even worse. But then the question is also, how can the temperature on Mars not be much lower than the temperature on the moon? Moon. Wikipedia. And again, temperature. Seasons. Less variation in temperature because of the axial tilt difference between the moon and Earth. Okay, but what are these temperatures? And how could these astronauts have walked there when the temperature supposedly is minus 238 degrees Celsius? Between minus 238 Celsius and minus 247 Celsius. But they didn't walk in that crater, so let's search on for temperature. In Kelvin. So let's just Google temperature on the moon. (260 degrees Fahrenheit), 127 degrees Celsius. When sunlight hits the moon's surface, when the sun goes down, temperatures can dip to minus 173 Celsius. So perhaps that's more doable, because if the temperature never gets over 20 degrees Celsius, in fact cold kills a lot more organisms and people than warm periods have done. And of course there used to be a lot more CO2 in our atmosphere, and temperatures used to be much higher than they are now. So the climate panic people are wrong, and they're just trying to scam the people to reduce the global population. It's part of a bigger population reduction agenda. So in their mind it makes sense. especially when they make a ton of money from it, of course. So that's what we're really dealing with in a nutshell. Well, we can watch some astronauts. The video is still online. Cool. Uploaded by Daniela S. Let's see if she has other good videos. Initially, the audio investigation began with the fact hammer strikes were heard and recorded on the moon. Oh yeah, the hammer strikes. Well, that theoretically could be sound heard via the astronaut's space suit when he's holding something and hitting it with a hammer. Then the vibrations could be picked up by the suit, but not with these plates. When he drops these plates, then there's no contact anymore. And they're really locked in on my brainstem, so when they do that, when I turn around my head, then it makes a clicking noise basically. So they use scalar waves to follow people's brainstem and annoy people continuously, also with hybrid insects, directed energy weapon torture, etc. So that's why few people expose this stuff, and few people, even fewer perhaps, know the truth about it because of controlled opposition. Some people are trying to expose stuff and they're trying to do the right thing. But some of them don't have a clue of what they're talking about. They haven't researched this for 20 years like I have. So let's do this with audio. So I can't ask him not too cold, not too warm, blah blah. The audio seems to be very soft on the video. This is Daniela S's channel. And I think the idea is to annoy us by modifying with their illegal brainwave alterations, modifying people's speech to let them make speech errors, especially when they train their speech daily, etc., and they care. So they're trying to use the things they care about to tyrannize them for their no-talk programming and suicide programming. So it's just because I did a video about this earlier today that I think about this stuff, I guess. So let's use the YouTube virtual DJ to amplify the video a little bit. When you do something, you have to do it right or something.
It worked. Yeah.
So there's no way that he was touching that plate when he dropped it, and we clearly hear it come down, proving that this was shot in a studio. But the video with the cable is better. I don't know if that's also in here, in this video somewhere. It's just NASA footage. You can still find on the nasa.gov website. There's another video with an astronaut throwing a cable, and we hear that come down clearly. And it would also be weird if he'd throw that cable on the Lambda Lunar Explorer module. So Daniela S's channel, perhaps she has some other videos that may be interesting. NASA ISS hoax. And people can use software to download the whole channel. So that's what I'm gonna do, and we could even have protests against this space travel while people on Earth are dying from starvation and other causes because they don't have money for food. So that is a reason some people are against space travel anyway. And also they should check if these propellants really contain chlorine, which breaks down the ozone layer. Also, if they pretend that it's not in there, test everything you learn. So, is there anything else that's interesting in relation to this? I bet there is, and that they're messing too much with me, so then it's a good idea to call it a night and don't let the bugs bite or whatever. When it becomes impossible to speak, then it's the right time to end your video. So thank you all for your likes, loves, subscribes and shares, and I need more likes and subscribers. I'm not going to do a video, well, perhaps I would. Perhaps I should do a video like 1 million subscribers or 1 million likes. Perhaps that works. Perhaps it works that way. And use words that are not blocked by the algorithms. So that may be another reason that this video is blocked. So bookmark my channel and check regularly for new video material, and bookmark other good channels so you don't lose track on what's happening in the world today. Don't lose track of what's happening in the world today. So yeah, a flash of lightning, thunder in the air, what do you call it, orgone, life force, energy. So NASA's other hoaxes were also covered by me. I don't know if that's a video that's still online. Perhaps it's on my hard disk somewhere. I could do a little check. NASA hoaxes, Apollo moon landings fake, Hubble, Mars rover and ISS fake as well. I don't know if that's... I still have the video, so I could re-upload it. You could watch a little part of it. Perhaps it's nicest if I don't play it with Virtual DJ. Open in Explorer. Where did I save that then? What channel is or was it on? Perhaps I'll be able to find out. Takes a while to open the File Explorer, formerly File Manager, because it's kind of confusing when Internet Explorer is also called Explorer. elderly perhaps. Yeah, let's open Explorer. Let's open both of them. Usually it, oh, here it is. No, that's 50 shocking depopulation control quotes. The Future channel. Oh, so you can still watch this on the Future channel on YouTube. So then I don't have to re-upload it and stuff. So that's the video. NASA hoaxes, Apollo moon landings fake, Hubble, Mars rover and ISS fake as well, and cost of the NASA hoaxes, cost of all NASA scams combined. But that's just based on Wiki and some other sources, but others may claim that the cost is a lot higher and have different ways of calculating it, etc. But I think the other one about the hoaxes, scams of the NASA Masons is more interesting. So, thank you all for watching. Tune in next time on Perfect Society. Try something not vegetarian, or the Future channel on YouTube. Peace out. Guess for all single ladies that would like one. And they're welcome for a free Shields for Hand massage here in Meidrecht in the Netherlands. I'm gonna make lemonade or whatever. And perhaps watch a movie. People can always Skype Prologic 999 to do a broadcast, to plan a meeting or whatever, to have fun.